Hey guys, what's up? Greg here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all the camera gear that I took with me last year on my thru hike of the Appalachian Trail. All right, here we go. I'm going to start off by looking at each item. I'll tell you what it is, and then we'll get into the specifics of it. So from left to right here, we've got the Samsung T7 1TB SSD, a USB-C to USB-C cable, the GoPro Hero 10 and the Windslayer cover, the iPhone, an Anker Nano 2 65-watt charger, a USB-C to USB-A short cord, the Camera Kit 3 lightning adapter with the lightning to USB-C cable that comes with your iPhone, and then finally there's the Nitecore NB 20,000 milliamp power bank. Now I know that many of you are concerned primarily with the weight of your gear. It's a big issue for you as you're trying to stay light. So let me start off by talking about the weight first. All in, this gear weighs 34.54 ounces, which is slightly over 2 pounds. As you can see from the list, the iPhone, the GoPro Hero 10, and the power bank make up most of this weight. On my hike, I use the iPhone 11. Now on this list, what I've done for you is I've compared the iPhone 11 to, let's say, the new iPhone 14 Pro, if you've gone out and invested in a new phone for your trip. But you can see, in order to have better tech, it's going to cost you more money, number one, and it's going to cost you weight, number two, because bigger cameras weigh more than smaller cameras. That's just all there is to it. And so that's something to consider when you're looking at weight. Okay, in this chart, I'm showing you guys how each item stacks up weight-wise. And again, you can see that the NB 20,000 here is the most weight of all this gear. Now, however, at the time of my hike, that was the lightest 20,000 milliamp power bank that I could find. I don't know if there's one lighter out there, but all my research led me to that particular power bank, and it runs about $100. Now, if you're really interested in going as light as you can, the same company, Nitecore, has come out with a new one called the Carbo 20,000, and that one is a unibody construction carbon fiber material at 20,000 milliamps. So it's going to save you an ounce, weighs about 10.42 ounces, but it's going to cost you about $20 more. So that's something to consider. So looking at the iPhone and the GoPro, with the GoPro, I added the Windslayer windscreen, so I want to just kind of focus on that for a second. When you get up into the mountains, and many of you already know this, the wind's blowing all the time, and if you try to take video, typically the audio quality comes out just terrible. If you just hold out your phone and start recording, all that wind noise is kicking in, and the microphone picks it up. So with the Windslayer windscreen wrapped around the GoPro, what I was able to do is get great audio quality and video quality at the same time without worrying about it. So I would highly recommend something like a Windslayer or a wind muffler for whatever device you're using. For batteries, I chose to go with the Enduro batteries from GoPro. They came out with these probably a little over a year ago. These particular batteries are made more for cold weather, because that's one of the downsides of any tech. When the weather gets too cold, it doesn't like to wake up and do its job, so to speak. So in those really cold mornings, I still had a problem sometimes getting the GoPro to work, but I would just have to wait until it warmed up a little bit, and typically everything was fine. For storage, there's two systems I used here, and this is why I did what I did. I wanted a backup system for my videos, so in case one thing went down, I would still have it saved somewhere else. So for storage, I went with the micro SD inside the GoPro Hero 10, and then I used the Samsung T7 as the external storage device. So that's the idea, having a place to store video on the GoPro and then having a place to store it externally that I could bring back when I got home and use with my computer to edit the video off of. Cost-wise, I broke everything down for you here on this list that you can refer back to, so I won't go through all that, but I will say total, all this gear came in at $1,149.89 if you're looking at current prices. It probably cost me a little bit more than that along the way when I bought it back then, but now if you were getting the same exact gear to do the job, then that's what it would run you. Now down in the description, I've left links to each of these devices if you're interested in doing more research on your own, or perhaps you're interested in buying some of this stuff, so you can check that out. All right, now what I'm going to do is share with you guys how you actually go through the process of transferring your video from your GoPro over to an external storage device. I know for some people this is a real challenge because there's quite a few steps you have to go through. One of the downsides of using a GoPro, if you want to have backup storage on something like an external SSD, is you cannot send your video straight from the GoPro onto the external storage device. They haven't figured that one out yet. Now when they do, if you're listening to GoPro, it's going to save you a lot of steps. But right now you have to go through a computer at your house, or when you're out on the trail, you're going to use your phone as your computer to first store the video and then to send it over to the external solid state drive. So let me go through these steps for you. I'm just going to get real technical here for a minute. I'm going to walk you through step by step with some video here from my phone. And hopefully when we're through with this process, you'll understand it. Now look, if you have any questions after this, please leave them in the comments section. I'd be happy to answer it for you. So here we go. All right, first step. You're going to open up the side door on your GoPro and you're going to plug in the USB-C end of your USB-C to lightning cable into the GoPro. Then you're going to plug your lightning in into your phone and you're going to turn on the GoPro. Now once you do this, you're going to go into the phone and you're going to open up the Quick app, which is what comes with your GoPro that you've downloaded to your phone. So when you open up the Quick app, it's going to start scanning and try to find your GoPro. On the Quick app, you go down to the bottom and you click on the little symbol there of the GoPro, and it's going to take you to a page, and at the top you're going to see your GoPro. Now note, if you have more than one GoPro, remember you may have to slide over to get to the one that you're using on the trail. But once you've done that, you're going to see that the GoPro is going to say that you've got new footage and you can download it. So you're going to click on the View Media tab, and a pop-up window is going to ask you if you'd like to join the Wi-Fi network associated with your GoPro. And at this point in time, you're going to click Join. Now you're going to see all your GoPro footage on the screen, and then you can click on that checkbox at the top right corner to choose all the clips that you want to send over to your external storage device. Once this step is complete, you're going to notice three options at the top. It says App, Cloud, or iPhone. Now at this point, you should have a blue line under where it says App. And that means that you have successfully transferred everything over to the actual app, and now you're ready to put it on your Photos app on your phone. Now at this point, you're going to disconnect your GoPro from your iPhone, and we're going to get into the iPhone itself and get ready to transfer everything over to the SSD. Okay, so now on your iPhone, you're going to go back up to the top, click on that checkbox, and go through and select all the clips that you're going to want to save over to the SSD. Once you've done that, you're going to hit Export. And it's going to give you the option to save these to your Photos app, and that's what you want to do. So that's our goal here, to save those over to the Photos app. Now after you've done this, go into your Photos app and check to see that all the clips are there. So now we're ready. We've got everything we need on the phone to send over to the Samsung T7, but we got to plug everything up. And this is where you're going to use all the gear that I just showed you. So, all right, so now we're going to make the connections necessary to move everything over. Here you can see that I've attached a Camera Kit 3 adapter to the iPhone. Then I've used the short USB-C to USB-A cable to connect the Samsung T7 to the adapter. And finally, I used the iPhone Lightning to USB-C cable to connect the adapter over to the Nitecore NB20000 so we can have power. Once you've made these connections, you're going to need to navigate to your Photos app on your phone, and once again, select all the clips that you're going to want to send over to your storage device. Now once you've chosen all the clips, you're going to hit the Share button, and you're going to have to scroll down now past some of your normal contacts. Scroll down till you see the Files app, and you're going to want to save it to the Files app. Once you click on that, a wheel is going to pop up that says Preparing. Now depending on how many clips you have, this may take a while, so just be patient. Once that's done, you may have to click the back arrow to get to the Browse screen that's going to show you your external storage device. And in my case, it's the Samsung T7 that you can see right there. So we're going to click on that. That's going to open up, and we're going to navigate to the folder that we want to share these clips in. So in my case, what I did before I headed out on the trail, I got on my computer and I created folders for every single day because I wanted to store all my videos by day, so that way when I got home I could edit a little bit easier, have everything organized. Now you can do it however you want to. In my example here, I'm just going to choose a random file, and I'm going to drag that clip into that file and save it, and then I'm going to exit, but then go back in again to my T7 to double check and make sure that the clip's there. Now once I've done that, I know everything's kosher, then there you go. I can unplug everything and I'm good to go. Now really, once you finish this process, you've got video saved in 4 separate places. You've got it on your external storage device that you just shared it to. You've got it still on the phone under Photos, and on the phone under your Quick app, and now you also have it on your GoPro where you shot it originally. So what do you want to do here? Do you want to save it on your phone and the Quick app? Probably not. But if you have a GoPro subscription and you do save it there, this is where the GoPro, again, to me, is pretty handy. Once you get into town and you get set up with Wi-Fi, if you have plenty of time, now you need some time because it takes a while, and you can set your GoPro up that once you start charging it, it's going to try to connect to the Wi-Fi and send everything over to your GoPro cloud account. So this is something you may want to look into. It's a $50 a year subscription for the GoPro account, with the cloud storage. It's unlimited cloud storage, and then you also get 15% off on accessories, and if your GoPro were to break or something, they'll replace your GoPro. But normally what I did on the trail now is for my iPhone 11, because I only had 128 gigabytes of storage, I would go in and delete everything out of the app and also delete everything out of the photos on my phone, because I've got it saved to the external storage device and I've got it saved on the GoPro, so no problems. All right, the last thing I want to do here is share with you guys why I chose the GoPro. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't just go with the iPhone and save weight and put everything on it. And that will work for some of you. If you want to vlog while you're out there and go ahead and share things while you're out there, maybe that's what you want to do. But for me, I knew I planned on bringing everything back home after the hike to do any kind of video creation or editing, if you will. So let me just run through the reasons why I think the GoPro is a good decision. Number one, I wanted a backup system, as I mentioned earlier. If I take the video with the GoPro, I've got it on the micro SD inside the GoPro, then I transfer it over to my external storage and I've got it in 2 places, good to go. Second, the GoPro is made to be rugged and it's made for adventures and athletic endeavors. So I think it's just built to a standard that's better for being out there in the woods. You drop it, this, that, and the other, it's less likely to break than perhaps your iPhone is. And you don't want to hurt your iPhone, so that's reason number 3. Less opportunities to break the iPhone. If I'm pulling out my iPhone all day long trying to take pictures and all that kind of stuff, well, there's more likelihood that I'm going to eventually drop it. Well, with the GoPro, if I drop it, worst case scenario, I break it, well, now I've got the iPhone to back me up. And typically the iPhone is a lot more expensive than a GoPro. You can get one of the version 8 or the Hero 9 GoPro for $200 or less, you know, depending on where you get it from. You can get it on eBay, you can buy it new, whatever, but that's a lot cheaper than a $1,000 phone. So the GoPro allows for one-hand operation. If there's one thing I love about the GoPro, let me just grab it right here and show you. As you can see, this thing right here is pretty nice from the standpoint that it's compact, but with this little shorty tripod on it, you've got some different options. I could just stick it down in the pocket on the front of my shoulder strap. That's how I carried it. Then I'd pull it out, and I've got this one-hand operation where I just hit the button on top, it starts recording, I hold it out there, I talk to the camera, the wind slayer's on there, so I'm getting clean audio, I'm getting good video. And then too, if I want to do some walk up, walk by shots, I just throw the tripod out on the bottom here like this, set it up on the trail, walk up, walk past, all that good stuff. And the little shorty extends for you. So you want some extra extension. If you're talking to the camera, you got that. And also you can set this thing up to take photos under timer mode, and I did that quite a few times. I'd set it up over there and I would just get some photos of myself. So that's pretty nice too. A lot of advantages here, I think, to this form factor when it comes to operating on the trail. All right, next, the GoPro Quick app. They keep making it better and better. Now, with social media being what it is, if you're really into social media and you've got Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook Reels and TikTok and everything else going on, you know, vertical video is where it's at, I guess, right now anyway. People have short attention spans. But what you can do with the Quick app is once you get into town and you've got access to Wi-Fi, and everything starts downloading to the Quick app, the nice part here is it'll make a highlight reel for you with music and everything else. You just pick the template and there you go. It kicks it out, and then you've got it there to share with all your different social media platforms, and you had to put in very little effort to get that done. So that's a pretty nice feature too with the Quick app. It's a good way to store the videos. It's a good way to connect to their cloud service, so on and so forth. So if you're like me and you have GoPros from years ago and maybe you didn't like the app and you haven't tried it in a while, you might want to go back and give it a second look. All right, now finally, let's talk about charging on the trail. The 20,000 milliamp power bank from Nitecore is pretty lightweight, so I didn't feel like 11.5 ounces was that big of a deal. But if you're carrying a bigger power bank because you want to do a lot of video, or let's say you're going to carry with you a full frame camera like a Sony or a Canon, maybe it requires some more power, then you know, power is definitely a consideration. And your phone is your #1 communication device. So that's another reason why I wanted to use the GoPro. I use the batteries in the GoPro, and I could just recharge those with my Nitecore power bank, and everything was cool. I never ran out of power. I always had plenty of power left when I got into town to recharge everything. So that worked really nice. If you're pulling out your phone all day long, well, you guys know how phone batteries are, and they're going to start to deplete. Then you have to deal with the fact that you might run out of power before you even have a chance to get back into town. And you don't want that to happen. So that's another consideration, using the GoPro instead of the iPhone to protect the battery in your iPhone for maybe taking some photos, and then for checking your emails, checking your text, messages from family, and that kind of thing. You can just use it more for a communication device while you're out there versus using it for a camera. All right, so there you have it. That's all the gear that I used to video my thru hike last year. If you found this information to be useful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, and also please consider subscribing to the channel. And guess what? If you got a little bit of time, there's 7 videos sitting on my channel right now under a playlist for Appalachian Trail thru hike. So if you guys are getting ready to do your own thru hike, go check those out. Leave some questions in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those questions for you guys. Thanks again for stopping by. All right, so let me just say best of luck to all you guys that are out there right now preparing for your own thru hike. Last year I left on February 25th, so here we are in February now. I'm getting that bug again myself to want to get out. You're really going to love it. Enjoy it. Take your time. Take a rest when you need to. Go long when you want to go long. Stay in town. Don't stay in town. Camp more on the, whatever. Just roll with the flow. You'll find your footing as you go. Best of luck there. Also, if you're planning on doing it in a couple years from now and you're putting in the research right now, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to check out things in the description as far as the products that I've mentioned here. You can go in there and look at the price, do some more research on those items. So over the next couple weeks for you guys that are preparing to leave in March or April, I'm going to share with you some of the gear that I used last year that I think is still relevant versus some of the newer stuff that might be better in a couple videos leading up to that point. So, subscribe to the channel, come back and check those videos out. Leave some questions in the comment section. Be happy to answer those for you. And until then, lace them up and get out there and get your hike on. Peace.